Westfield Memorial Hospital provides high-quality health care to residents of Western New York, offering patients the most sophisticated medical advancements while keeping the ease and familiarity of a community hospital. Support for Chautauqua Sunrise has been provided by WRFA 107.9 FM, Jamestown's public radio station, streaming online 24/7 at WRFALP.com. Low power to the people. Meter's Restaurant, a family tradition for over 50 years in downtown Ripley, is a proud supporter of Chautauqua Sunrise. Meter's provides all-day dining, banquet services, and custom catering, specializing in pie.
Funding for Chautauqua Sunrise is provided in part by the County of Chautauqua Industrial Development Agency, with offices in Jamestown and Dunkirk, helping businesses to prosper throughout Chautauqua County. For more information on how the CCIDA can assist your business, visit choosechq.com.
From supporting people with disabilities to enjoy great lives, to providing health care services that are available to anyone, the Resource Center has been improving our county for more than 60 years. Learn more about how the Resource Center makes a positive difference in people's lives.
The Hofbrauhaus in downtown Buffalo invites all our friends from Chautauqua County to experience craft beer, Bavarian food, and live entertainment. Check us out on our Facebook page and website for family-friendly events throughout the year.
From the Access Chautauqua Studios in Mayville, it's Chautauqua Sunrise. Chautauqua Sunrise is hosted by Doc Hamels and supported by the award-winning volunteers at Access Chautauqua. We are here to share local news, colorful interviews, and events of interest to everyone. Chautauqua Sunrise is broadcast live Saturday mornings each week from 9 to 10 a.m. Send events via email or call us live. Check us out on YouTube and Facebook. And now, from the Access Chautauqua Studios, it's Chautauqua Sunrise.
There I am. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Randy Burt. I'm filling in for Doc Hamels this week. I got a really cool show today. I think we're going to be talking something about money, but we'll see here in a couple minutes. I'm just wondering, have you guys had enough winter yet, or I don't know. There's only one good thing I can see about it is in about 3 weeks, the ice castle. The ice castle's big here, and when they get a nice winter weather, you're gonna have a good time. I got to help build it several years ago, and there's a lot of work that goes into building one of those, cutting the ice out of the lake. And then it's been a while, but then I did the polar bear swim.
Oh.
I'd never do that again. I mean, it was snowing, it wasn't super cold, but one time they had it and it was like -30 or something. I stood on the ice just trying to take pictures, and it was like, no way. But they had a big tent for them right at the edge of the ice to run into. But once you're in the water, you can probably walk around the festival wet for a half hour and don't even realize it. So it's cool. I'm not sure if they're having it this year. It does raise a lot of money for the community. So
Start building this week.
yeah, they're supposed to start building Monday. I don't know with the weather prediction, but it's fun being out there in a blizzard where you can't see anything. So I could never do it again. But okay, so that's not a whole lot going on. If you were trying to watch this last week, we're sorry. The whole Northwest County lost power. 10 minutes before our live show, the power went out. And we were supposed to film a live show, tape a show, and then tape an Oak Island Plus for Doc Hamels, and it didn't happen. So if you wonder where we were in the dark. So hopefully this week, cross your fingers, the power will stay on. So this is a call-in show, so you can call in anytime, 716 753-5225, or you can email us, call us in at the number on the TV. We're also going to be live on WRFA in Jamestown radio station at 1 o'clock on Tuesday. So if you're out in the car, you can listen to us if you missed the show. So we're all around. So I'm going to just start real quick and get this part out of the way, because there's some really cool stuff going on, and one of them starting up here about 10 o'clock. And before that, we just have Infinity Corner with a phone number, 716-664-0991, or infinityperformingarts.org. You guys know Infinity. If you've ever watched our show, we have mine every year, and it's a bunch of music and art, and they're just fantastic. So check them out. You can go down there today. Doors open in Jamestown from 10 to 4 and see what they're actually like. So, weather permitting today at Chautauqua Institution and tomorrow, there's going to be sleigh rides from 1 to 3 p.m. Bring your family. They're gonna have the wheels. They ran into too much trouble trying to run the sleighs, I guess, the runners on them, but it's a great time. It's from the State Line Horsemen's Association, and it's $5 for adults, age 13 and over, $3 for children, 2 to 12, and I've done this a million times, and you're gonna love it. It's a nice half-hour ride or so through Chautauqua Institution, and bring your cameras and listen to the stories. Soupin' Sundays at 21 Bricks Winery, January 18th. I think we missed that one. So we'll pass on that one because that one's happened.
No, that is every Sunday.
Oh, it's every Sunday. Come to the winery each Sunday. Okay, I got to read ahead. From March 15th until March 15th to enjoy a bowl of homemade soup and a glass of wine. Serving from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. or until sold out. And if I'm not mistaken, you look for a pink elephant.
Look for the pink elephant.
Pink elephant there, yep. So
Down on 20.
we're on 20 heading towards
I
Portland,
believe his name is
Brockton.
Barry.
Barry?
Yeah.
He's got a name.
That's the other one.
So yeah, why don't you try that out? And I don't have any prices, but I'm pretty sure it's not very much. So head out to 21 Bricks. Okay, today is Doors Open in Jamestown. It's from 10 o'clock till 4 o'clock. And most of the attractions in Jamestown, the museums and the library, the hotel, everything's open today, and it's free. I think when you go to the Lucy Museum and Comedy Center, you need a reservation because they get so many people. But if you haven't done this, you see it's great. You just walk around Jamestown. You can pick a brochure up at any of the places. I usually hang out at the Reg Lene. I love it up there, and movie theaters are just in my blood for some reason. But just some of the participating attractions: the Audubon Community Nature Center, another one of my favorites, Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame. I've never been to the Chautauqua Youth Symphony. I'd like to see that. The Chamber on 300 North Main Street will be open. You can go in there and talk to them. Fenton History Center, Infinity Performing Arts, James Prendergast Library, Lucille Wright Air Museum. I spent a lot of time there, I think last year. Marks Cole Observatory. Now that's in Frewsburg, but they open up so you can go down there, and that's another fun place. I've never been to the Marvin Community House. I'm not sure much about it, but it'd be fun to go there and just find out. And the National Comedy Center, the Northwest Arena, the Partridge Sheldon House in Jamestown, Pearl City Clay House, Reg Lene Center for the Arts, Robert H. Jackson Center, Roger Torrey Peterson Institute, and if I can pronounce this right, Sakanya Berman Dance, which is at 106 East 2nd Street, Studio 3A. Some other businesses that are participating are Art Cloth and Crafts, 108 East 3rd Street, Chautauqua Art Gallery, 318 North Main Street, the Doubletree by Hilton. That's got to be my home the last few years during elections. Wicked Warrens, I haven't been there yet, but I've heard it's really pretty awesome place. So the hours are 10 to 4, the attractions with the Asteric or time tickets, you get so much time, which is probably the Red or Lucy Museum and the Comedy Center. And there's some other businesses might join in, so 10 o'clock, get downtown, and I think it's a little chilly, but just park there and walk around. Jeff, slide number 15. This one sounds pretty cool, if I can pronounce it. Begonia and Neuenberg to show at the Reg Linné Center for the Arts. Begonia Wednesday, January 28th at 7 p.m. is nominated for 4 Academy Awards, including Best Picture and Best Actress, Emma Stone. 2 conspiracies obsessed by young men kidnapped the high-powered CEO Stone of a major company, convinced that she is an alien intent on destroying planet Earth. Begonia is rated R and is 119 minutes long. And Nuremberg is Friday, January 30th at 6 p.m. This is a screen adaptation of Jack Elhai's historical novel, And the Nazi and the Psychiatrist, which I need. The Allies, led by the unyielding chief prosecutor Robert H. Jackson, played by Michael Shannon, have the task of ensuring the Nazi regime answers for unveiled horrors of the Holocaust, while a U.S. Army psychiatrist is locked in Nuremberg. Dramatical. Let's start this one. Oh, the show is rated R. It's 158 minutes long, and I'm losing my voice. Tickets for most movies at the Reg are $8 in person at the box office and $10 online. Family showings are $7 in person at the box office and $9 online. You could call them, and I can't find the phone number, but just look up the Reg Linné and give them a call. And it's the old Palace Theater, which I first went there when I was 10 years old for a movie. So check that out and tell Len Berry hi from Randy. Slide 16, Jeff. The Yasu Festival, to go. St. Nicholas Greek Orthodox Church, Jamestown, New York. Join us on Saturday, February 7th, Shank Night. A $30 meal, 1 braised lamb shank with a rice pilaf, green beans, Greek salad, and a piece of baklava. Place your order by February 1st. Pick up at the church on February 7th from 4 to 6 p.m. Additional baked goods will be available for purchase at pickup. www.yasufestival.com. I just got to check this one. Okay. Chautauqua County officials are urging older adults and caregivers to take extra precautions as respiratory illness remains highly active in 2026. Preventative measures such as staying up to date on vaccinations, practicing frequent hand washing, ensuring good indoor circulation, and staying home when sick remain the best ways to reduce the risk. I hear it's going all over this year. The flu is more than a seasonal inconvenience. It can pose serious risk, especially for older adults, says Dana Corwin, Director, Chautauqua County Office for Aging Services. Being aware of the symptoms, monitoring your health, and reporting concerns are key steps to preventing complications. In addition to influenza, COVID-19 and pneumonia are circulating locally. When flu activity is among the highest in recent years, preventive measures can help reduce the spread of respiratory illness. So take extra precautions and get your vaccinations. And I think I'm not going to read all of that because we all know about the flu. Many years of having the flu and the cold. So right now we're going to go to a public service announcement, and then we're going to get right into the show.
It's a miracle that springs forth to feed us, to clothe us, to bring us joy. A miracle prompted by rain and warmed by the sun. But few realize without healthy soil below ground, there would be little life above it. Learn more about this miracle under our feet and how we're working with farmers and ranchers to unlock the secrets in the soil.
We're back. I was looking. I thought I had one more, but I was looking at last week's. Okay. So, I don't know. Papers are here. I'm just looking at them. I have two great guests today, and they made it down from Fredonia area, and I'm real happy. So, I'm going to start right out. We have the Northern Community, Chautauqua Community Foundation, and I'm going to start with Willie. And could you tell me a little about yourself and what you do?
Sure. So I'm originally from Fredonia, still live in Fredonia. I'm one of those people that always thought I would leave after high school, but truth is I love it here. It's a great place to raise a family, and there's nowhere else I can imagine being right now.
Awesome, because I was always going to move to Australia when I retired,
Ooh,
but I'm still here. And also I have with me Nathaniel Clark. Good morning.
Morning, Randy. Thank you for having us.
Just a little about yourself. I don't think you've been on the show before, so.
Yeah, this is my first time on the show. So similar story, I grew up in Fredonia, and I moved away for a little while, but moved back because this was, Fredonia had everything that I was looking for. So I was living in DC, and I realized that the things I missed were the things that I had in Fredonia, and so I wanted to come back to my hometown and try to make it a better place.
I've heard a lot of people say that they go away and they come back. I mean, I do a lot of traveling, but I'm usually ready to come home after I'm done. I'm tired out and broke and everything. So my first question, what is the Community Foundation?
Complex answer there, but the Community Foundation exists to enhance and improve the quality of life for everyone who calls Northern Chautauqua home, for everyone who works, plays, lives in Northern Chautauqua. The beautiful thing about the Community Foundation and what really drew me to it is that our funds last in perpetuity. So that means every gift that's given to the Northern Chautauqua Community Foundation is going to continue to directly benefit our community and everyone in it forever.
Not going out of the community, it's staying here where it belongs.
That's exactly right.
Awesome. So how long you guys been around? I mean, I've heard of you over the years. I can't remember when you started.
Sure. I love this story, actually. The Community Foundation officially began in 1986. That's when it was established. And this is my favorite part of the story. So it was just a group of people who lived in Northern Chautauqua and wanted to see a community foundation established here to better the community. So they got together and they had a study done, feasibility study, and they were told it couldn't be done.
Oh, yeah?
They were told unequivocally it cannot be done in Northern Chautauqua. And now here we are, we're in our 40th year this year, still impacting the community, still growing, and I just think it's such a great story.
Man,
it goes to show
40 years?
40 years. It goes to show what a group of dedicated individuals can do.
Before the Community Foundation, was it called anything else, or just Community Foundation? Now, are there a lot of community foundations around the country?
There are many.
Yes.
Good.
So as a model, it's more popular in the United States and Canada. But this idea of endowing money, of investing it and not touching that original investment, but just granting out from the what's generated from that investment.
Wow.
So that's the core idea, is that our original investment that folks make in their community never goes anywhere. It only ever grows, and what we're giving back to the community is what's growing from that. And so that model had originally, I believe Cleveland was the first one, but it's grown. I think there's hundreds at this point, but frankly, I don't think there's enough of them. I think it's a great model, and the earlier you get started, the better, the faster it grows. So it's a great model, and it's really worked obviously for Northern Chautauqua County, but they're all over New York State, and they're also all over the country as well.
So you're talking about investing. One question is, what do you invest in? And the second question is, when a organization gets money, do they have to repay it to you?
No,
No.
we do not. No repaying.
Oh,
We
nice.
do not ask the organizations repay.
Awesome.
Our funds, as Than mentioned, our funds are all endowed. So everything is pooled and endowed. It's invested. We have a really incredible team on our investment committee, and we work with Career Capital, who manages our investments. Our returns on average always seem to exceed that of our peers.
Nice.
So they're doing a really, really fantastic job of that. And as you mentioned, the beautiful thing about that is it just continues to grow over time, and it allows us to do more and more in the community.
I know, I've been working with Lakeshore Center for the Arts. And I know you've helped them out a lot, and you're still helping them.
Yes.
You're helping Tim now with his music, and
Yes.
it's great to hear, because
Such a
they
great
built that place
organization.
up. From what we were hearing about it before they ever even moved in there, and I finally got to go there, and it's like,
Yeah.
it's been over 3 years, and I'm an administrator, and what a group of people.
It is such a wonderful organization. They have so much to offer this community. I think not enough people know about Lakeshore Center for the
Yeah.
Arts. So if you're watching and you don't know about Lakeshore Center for the Arts, go check it out. Look them up online. They're always doing shows, theater, concerts. The Songwriter Series is really, really cool.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that. We're sponsoring that series throughout this entire year. And what that is they bring in 3 songwriters, 3 musicians. Typically it's 2 local, 1 traveling. And you just get this really intimate look at their songwriting process. They'll play their music, they'll tell you the stories behind the music, and it's just a really, really cool thing.
And they use a theater usually for that.
Yes.
We got about a 35-seat theater, so you're not in one of these mega theaters where you get in binoculars to see the people and
Right.
stuff. So yeah, I was always interested, but they had photography classes, and I saw green screen and portraits. There's nowhere else around here you could take classes, and I started taking them and taking more and more, and learned Adobe. I'd only used Photoshop in my life a little, and I got into all these Adobe programs of web editing, and just crazy. And
Yeah.
my job is to try to learn them and then teach them to other people so they can learn them. We have Adobe Suite's not cheap. We have 2 of them in there. I have one personal one at home, and it's not cheap, but it's really got a lot you can do with it. So
Yeah.
they have that. We also have the art gallery.
Yes. Yes.
That's popular in the summer.
Yes.
We get a lot of different shows going on. Karen Cockrum, she sets up the shows. Get a lot of people
She
coming
does a
in.
fantastic job too.
We got the library across the street, so a lot of people go there and come here and check it out. So It's been fun. I mean, it's stuff I never expected in my life to get to do, and they had cameras, you could use, and I'm
Yes,
starting out.
yes.
Did a lot of video. Doc Hamels that usually does the show, him and a friend, they were doing Oak Island Plus. It's a rabbit hole investigation. His friend Jim just passed away about a month ago, but Jim had been on Oak Island's show on TV like over a dozen times, wrote I think 14 books. I even held a piece of the sample they took out of the ground when they were drilling, heavier than heck. But Jim passed away, but I forgot how many we got, way over 2,000 subscribers and almost 130,000 views in a couple of years we were doing it. So that's one thing you could do, just set up a camera in the background, and you could do it. It's really fun. We got the lights.
Yeah.
So gonna jump over here. You also have scholarships.
Yes.
Can
So
you tell
that's
me how they work.
that's one of the things that's I think maybe important to clarify is that that money that we have and those grants that we're making, those are benefiting nonprofits primarily, and then also a portion of them go towards scholarships. So all of that money that we're generating and those donations that folks are making are benefiting nonprofits that are supporting the community, and then obviously students in the community so that they can go forward and make a difference in their educational careers, and those are obviously students in school districts in northern Chautauqua
So
County.
how do they get involved with that? Does the school tell you who needs them, or do they file out an application?
I'm sure you can expect the answer to this. It can be a little complicated, but it varies a little bit on a case-by-case basis. But for the most part, it's recommendations based on the schools, but we have applications. It's a rigorous process to make sure that obviously those donor dollars are going to where they're needed most. That's sort of the through line across everything we do, is making sure that we're stewarding those dollars and distributing them in the community in the way that they make the most impact. One of the things I wasn't really familiar with community foundations when I first moved back to the area, and when I saw the job posted, I read the mission. And Northern Chautauqua Community Foundation has a very simple mission. It's a more prosperous Northern Chautauqua community. That's it. And how we do that is, that's when you ask Leslie what we do, it's like, we do everything. We tackle that problem from a million different directions.
It might be easier to tell you what we don't do.
Basically, anyone who's in the community trying to make it a better place, we're trying to support them in doing that, and finding ways to do that. And whether it's in local economic development, whether it's helping students achieve their educational goals, whether it's in, obviously, in nonprofit, local news and everything from, everything. It's really quite beautiful how many ways there are to support the community, and that's always what we're looking for is opportunities to do that.
I guess right now I should stop. And what's your address? Where are you?
We are located in Dunkirk.
Okay.
We're at 212 Lakeshore Drive West in Dunkirk.
So
212 Lakeshore Drive West.
So that's the main
in
road
Dunkirk.
Okay.
Right on the lake there, Route 5.
I got a phone call here, so we'll stop here for a minute. Hello, caller.
Hey, Randy, it's Mike Fellisman. How are you?
Hey, Mike, how are you?
Well, I'm good. I see you're the host today.
Yeah, Doc, he had enough of this winter, I guess.
I can understand that.
I mean, Jeff got to go on a trip to Denver. We went to Hawaii, so it's Doc's turn to get away and warm up for a couple days.
All right, that sounds good. Well, I'm interested in your show today. First of all, I enjoyed your talk about Lakeshore Center for the Arts. I still haven't made it up to see the place, but who knows? But I can guarantee it won't be during this cold weather.
No, we're closed today. They decided to close because of the crazy weather predictions and how cold it is. So
I think that's a good idea. Anyways, I'll give a shout out to your two guests. I've seen, and I'm so bad with names, but I've seen your lady friend from the Northern Chautauqua Community Foundation.
Leslie.
Leslie, hi Leslie. I just want to give a shout out. My church affiliation is Tri-Church Parish in Brockton, and I just wanted to give a shout out to your organization because you've been a big help to us. Our church has a feeding ministry where we try to, well, we do feed youth that need it for the weekend. It's a weekend program, and then we feed some of the local seniors. And through your donations to us, it's been a huge help. So I guess, I don't know if you were expecting to get a little bit of a testimonial while you were on the air, but I thought it might be a nice plug for your organization.
Food's always good, and people need it really bad.
And it is an increasing need in our community.
It's crazy.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. I will say our discretionary grant making, one of our largest grants in 2025 was emergency food grants when there was the issues with SNAP.
Oh, yeah.
We made emergency food grants, and those came out of community funds, which may be something we talk about a little bit later. But our ability to respond to those needs, and we can't do that without the programs that are set up to distribute that food. So thank you for what you do.
Okay, well, ours actually isn't an emergency. Ours is a regular program.
Right. It's infrastructure to set that up and distribute it.
Yeah. But anyways, that's really about all I had. So I'll let you get on with the show. But I just thought I'd do a shout out this morning.
Hey, thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hey, Mike, keep warm.
I will. I don't think I'm even going anywhere today.
Smart move.
Yeah. We'll see you, Randy.
Yep, take care. So, is there any more thing you want to talk about on scholarships? Are they just top students?
Oh, no,
No,
not at all.
no.
It doesn't have to just be a top student. does it?
Not at all. We have scholarships that are available for every kind of student, every major, every interest. I would say, if you're a student and you're watching, or you have a student in your life that's graduating, they're going to further their education, even if they're looking at going to a trade school or something like that, we have scholarships for that as well. Just give us a call, 716-366-4892, or I'd really recommend you speak to your guidance department at your school. They'll be able to help you navigate all of that.
Awesome.
One thing I will add on to that is one of the ways in which one of the advantages of having a local community foundation is that we can be tapped into sort of how the needs are evolving. So I think our oldest scholarship that we hold predates us by about 60 years. So I think it's from 1924.
Wow.
And that's an alumni scholarship that was originally set up for benefiting Dunkirk students, but it was handed off to the community foundation to steward those assets. And so we've got scholarships that are older than I think all the people in this room, and it's a beautiful thing to sort of see how both folks have what the needs were at the time to make sure that they were giving out scholarships that sort of met the needs of the community at the time, but then also as the needs are evolving, it's making sure that we're offering now scholarships for technical education, for LPNs, for nursing, and as the healthcare needs of the community are growing, it's making sure that as we're having conversations with donors and folks, one of the things that's really beautiful to see in the community is donors come to us and they have their vision for what they want to see and the impact they want to make, and we're always helpful in making them and helping them achieve that goal. But sometimes they come to us and they say, what is the need in the community? How can I achieve that? And we're always happy to share what we're hearing and what we're seeing. And so connecting folks with what we're hearing in the community and the needs that we're seeing, it's been interesting to see sort of the shift towards meeting
So
those
who are the donors? Are they like just really rich people, or can anybody donate?
Not at all. We like to say anyone can be a philanthropist, right? And it's true. And I just want to pause for a minute because Than said something really interesting. We do have that scholarship fund that dates back to, was it 1924?
I believe that's our oldest, yeah.
1924. So I think that's really a testament to the model of the community foundation and the endowment model of giving. The individuals that set up that scholarship fund, they're not with us anymore. But that fund is continuing to benefit students in our community. And that's how it is with all of our funds at NCCF. And as far as who is contributing those funds, it's everyone. It's everyone. We see donations that are $5 from a young person in our community. We see bequests that are $1 million from somebody who was very community minded and felt like they wanted to give back in their estate plans. And everything in between.
Jeez.
And the beauty of the model that we have is that all of these funds are pooled together. So no matter how big or small your gift is, it's pooled together with all those others, and it's making an impact in our community.
That's what I wondered, 'cause it's just, like, I'm not rich, and it's like, I see people donate, it's like, how do you do it? I mean, a lot of people are so struggling that
Yeah.
there's still a lot of people that
We
can-
like to make it really easy for people. So, right now we're in the final year of a 5-year campaign, and the focus of our campaign is building community funds. So within that, we've lowered the minimum on starting a community fund. We have really flexible options. You don't have to do it all at once. You can reach that minimum over, a 5-year period. I am not wealthy by any stretch of the imagination, but I have started a community fund in my family's name, and the options that we've been able to make available to people made that accessible for me.
Awesome. So, community funds that organizations can apply for. How would I apply if I had an organization? I mean, I'm starting up, I don't know, Randy's photo class. Would that be something that I could apply for, or do you need, you gotta be a 501c3?
So the one thing I think we're really proud of this, and that is we're focused on our service area. We're focused on the people we serve, and we place a very strong emphasis on that. We know that we serve a predominantly rural area. We meet people where they are. So we're really proud of the fact that if you have a project in mind, if you're an organization that's serving your community, however you're doing that, I would say give us a call. Let's start a conversation. Let's figure out what we can do, because if you're a 501c3, we've got application on the website. We can get you straight into that application. We've got two community grants program rounds a year, but then we have a number of other grant opportunities throughout the year.
So what's a community?
So those are our big main grant opportunities. Okay. Those are just the main, I think, when you're thinking of applying for a grant as just that traditional process, fill out an application, submit it. Those are our two big processes that we do a year. But we have a number of smaller processes throughout the year that are more tailored to specific opportunities. And so matching a project up with those, I think that's where it's probably going to be more helpful to have a specific conversation with one of us to make sure that we're matching you up with that opportunity. But even if there isn't a specific opportunity that already exists, what we try to do, and what we're very intentional about, is finding a way to support you wherever you are in your journey. Because what we care about, again, going back to our mission, is building up Northern Chautauqua, is making it a better place to live. And so however we can support you in that, one of the things that I'm very involved with is the Capacity Lab, which is a nonprofit capacity building initiative that Northern Chautauqua Community Foundation is very involved with, alongside several other funders in the county. So United Way, the Chautauqua Region Community Foundation down in Jamestown, and as well as many others. And so we're partnering with foundations and funders across the region to work on strengthening the sector as a whole, so that everyone has the ability to access these funding opportunities to move whatever their vision is for a better community forward. So even if maybe you're not at that point to submit an application, we want to support you in maybe getting to that point. So all that to say, it's a long answer to an easy question, but if you want to fill out the application, you can head to our website under supporting nonprofits. We've got the link to that process, but always, I would say, just shoot us an email, give us a call. All of our contact information is on our website. We're more than happy to support you in however you want to build up the community.
Okay.
I will mention real quick here that all of these things that Fan just mentioned, the Capacity Lab, our work with local economic development, our community grants program, our service learning grants, those support teachers in our area as they're planning projects for their students that combine traditional classroom learning with community service, right? It's really, really important to instill that in the next generation and do that early and reinforce it. All of these things are supported by our community funds. So that's why we are in the middle of this campaign. That's why we have such a focus on increasing these funds, because that's where we see the most impact in our community.
The teachers need the help.
Yes.
You would
Absolutely.
think working at a school, they would supply everything, but from what I hear, that
Yeah.
just doesn't happen.
Brady, my mom's a public school teacher, grew up in the classroom my whole life, and it's they do everything they can, and it's really tough. So that's one of the areas we have this specific grant opportunities for helping teachers develop programs that bring together community service and reaching academic objectives, because we think that's a really cool way to sort of community pride is really at the core of everything that we're doing, because if you love your community, obviously you're going to want to build it up and support it. And if you don't see a reason to love your community, why would you want to give back to it? And obviously that starts in your school. That starts as a kid. That starts feeling like your community around you is giving back to you and building you up.
And like you're a part of it too,
Right.
right? You're part of that process.
So,
Open.
so supporting teachers in building classroom experiences that show students that there's a community around them that supports them and that is worth giving back to, is something that we have processes set aside just to support that, because it's really important to us
Beautiful.
to start that early.
This one I think we talked about. Dak says him and his wife, they have a fund in their name. So they donate, what, once a year? Something like that?
I believe, I'd have to double check. I believe at this point they have fulfilled their pledge.
Okay.
But yes, we did have something set up, where they were able to pledge a certain amount each year. Like I said, we have really, really flexible options. Fan mentioned we're meeting people where they are. I think that's really important, because I think a lot of us, especially right now, a lot of us are looking for ways to make a difference and looking for ways to improve our communities. And we want that to be accessible to everyone, right? You don't have to be wealthy to be a philanthropist. We really want to bring everyone to the table and have everyone be a part of that. So yeah, it was a few years ago, I think. Doc and I sat down in the little coffee shop in Westfield. Great place, by the way. And he doesn't drink coffee, right? I remember him telling me that. But he met me there anyway, and I had my coffee, he had something else, and we just had a chat about, what their goals were, what they wanted to accomplish for our community. And they did end up establishing a community fund. As we mentioned, these are the funds, they're unrestricted in nature. They allow us to respond to the needs of the community even as they change in time. That's really important too, right? That flexibility is so important, because the needs 20 years from now, and remember these funds last forever, the needs 20 years from now are not going to be what the needs are today. They're going to evolve, and so these funds allow us to evolve along with that.
Excellent. I always wondered, I know I'd heard him talk about it, but I was...
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. It's, the fund has their name on it. It's a beautiful legacy, a tribute to how much they care about our community. We actually have a goal, an internal goal within this campaign for a specific number of new community funds, and we're pretty darn close to that goal. So there's a lot of people out there that are, that are interested in that way.
A couple of these I'm going to have now, I think you've already talked about. By giving out money to needy projects, doesn't that spend down the funds? I think you mentioned that, no?
It does not. It does not. And that's that endowment model, right?
okay.
So gifts that are given to the community foundation are endowed, they're invested. And it's the income from that investment, it's the returns that allow us to do the work that we're doing. So those gifts are never spent. They continue to grow and continue to give back to the community, as we mentioned, in perpetuity.
Jesus.
Yeah, it almost sounds too good to be true.
Yeah.
Which is, and that was where, when I first came and joined the foundation, I was like, okay, walk me through this again one more time. It almost sounds like infinite money, but I think it comes down to it's responsible stewardship. And obviously the market is the market. It goes up, it goes down. But part of that is, when we talked about, we have a very qualified investment committee. They're stewarding those assets. They're managed by professionals. We have an investment But that investment policy that we have that's managed by our board, which is 100% local community members overseeing the foundation as a whole, the goals that they've set for that investment policy are relatively conservative in the sense that it's not meant to fluctuate. We're not chasing the highest returns. We're ensuring that we're always we're not collapsing it.
Yeah.
We're always able to hit sort of that goal. The goal is to always be able to give money. So it's maybe not chasing the highest highs, but always being consistent and reliable. And that's the model. That's how we're able to be in perpetuity is by being responsible and being disciplined and being thoughtful. And so we like to be a little bit we like to have fun with it and say that like it's kind of cool that we're basically creating money out of thin air, but we're not. We're creating it by being responsible stewards of a disciplined investment policy. But the result of that is that we basically get to grant money for free.
So how big of a group do you have? I mean, you have investors, you have people at your office.
Yeah.
It's got to be more than you two.
It's more than us. I will say we're a small staff. We're a staff of 6, 7.
So we depends on how you want to calculate it, because we have relatively few full-time staff, a handful of part-time staff, but the vast majority of sort of our organization is volunteer.
Right.
So we have a fully volunteer board. Most of our grants committee is fully volunteer. So the work of the foundation is obviously done by a handful of core people, but the staff of the organization is relatively small. We're driven by the community and the community's
Absolutely.
involvement in our work. We rely on folks believing in the work that we're doing. We keep the lights on, we keep the gears turning behind the scenes, but it's the community coming to us, bringing us projects. I mean, we're not the ones. That's why I was so grateful for the person who called in, because it's like we can grant money, but we can only do that if there's folks out there distributing the food. Our job is to steward. Our job is to talk to folks about the value of contributing to this endowment model. But at the end of the day, we rely on volunteers to look at these grants and to tell us, hey, I'm in Westfield. I know what the needs are in Westfield. We go around, we talk to folks. We are engaged in that process, but we rely on the community to support us in that, and it's mostly volunteers.
And there are a number of ways that people can get involved with the Community Foundation. If you're listening and you think, man, this sounds like something I'd really love to be a part of, we have a number of committees that we're always adding volunteers to. Our board consists of entirely volunteers from the community. We have our voting membership that is entirely volunteers from the community. We truly, truly are the community's foundation.
Yep.
So the investors, who are they?
So the investment committee is a volunteer committee made up of board members, and so they are for the foundation. But the foundation has like a contract with an investment firm.
Oh, okay.
So that's a profession. Though it is professionals overseeing the investments, and we're doing it the right way. That we want to be 100% clear about. But it is. The goals, the objectives are overseen by the community to ensure that it's meeting the community's priorities. But the execution of the priorities is done by professionals to the highest standard. So it's an important distinction, but it's one we want to be clear about.
I want to go back just a little. How does a grant work? Say I wanted something. How do I write out a grant? I mean, you have people that do it all the time.
Sure.
But
It varies. Every funder is different. Every grant process is different, and some of this can come back to the original donor, because sometimes the donor is very particular about what they want to support, and so we design sometimes the grant process around making sure that the donor's initial wishes are fulfilled. That's very important that we honor that. But for things like the community grants program, which in that case our donor is the community as a whole. And so what we need to honor is the community's needs. For things like that, our process is very straightforward. It's simple questions like a brief project description, how does it further your mission? Who's it impacting? Basically, what are you hoping to accomplish? And so it starts even before you've filled out any form or anything with just a basic letter. And so you send that letter in to us saying, this is what I'm hoping to do. Well, this is who I am. This is what I'm hoping to do. Does this sound like I'm sort of on the right track for something that might be eligible for a grant? Our grants coordinator will get back to you. We'll have a conversation. We'll work with you on that. And then you'll have the opportunity to submit an application or not, depending on whether it's an appropriate fit, or maybe we'll direct you somewhere else to work with you. Once you filled out that application, it'll be reviewed, again, by a committee of community volunteers who are tapped into the needs of the community. We're obviously not able to support every single project that comes before us, but it's because we want to make sure that we're meeting the most pressing community needs. That's our job, and that's what we've been entrusted to do. And so, that we go through that process, then you'll get a grant agreement saying that this is what I set out to do, this is the application, this is what I agreed to do. Move forward with that, you execute on the project, and then we'll work with you to say this is how it went, and hopefully it went really well, and we'll and if you have issues with it, then we'll work with you on those issues to hopefully resolve them. So it seems intimidating, it's scary. I've simplified that process tremendously, so please nobody quote me on that and say he promised it was this simple. But it is not as scary as it seems on paper, because ultimately our job as a foundation is to get these dollars into the community and making an impact. So we want to help you do that, but we want to do it in a way that honors all these dollars that have come in, and we've been given the responsibility of stewarding.
You might have said this before, but say I have a non-profit organization, I get a grant from you. Down the line, can I get a second grant?
Absolutely.
You can just get it again as long as you're in the guidelines.
Yes.
And we do, one of the important considerations when folks come back for grants is how they handled the grants that they've received in the past, because this all comes back to being responsible stewards of the dollars that we're asking for. It's very important to us that we're doing what we say we set out to do. We know what our mission is.
I do want to point out, Than mentioned several times, I'm sitting here listening to you, and several times I heard him say, we'll work with you. We'll work with you. We want this to be accessible to people, right? Mm-hmm. Grants processes can be intimidating. And I know some other grant opportunities, maybe it is a very involved, very long process. And you're looking at hiring someone to write that grant for you, to write the proposal. We want this to be accessible to the people in our community. We want these dollars in our community making a difference as they were intended. Mm-hmm. So please, if you're watching, if you're involved with a nonprofit organization, you have a project that you think is worthy, that you need some funding for, bring it to our attention. We want that. We want to hear about what's going on in our community and what people are planning and what's going on. And we really, really try to make that process as simple and as accessible as we can.
Okay, so you're Northern Chautauqua County Community Foundation. Is there Southern?
There is another community foundation in our county. That's the Chautauqua Region Community Foundation.
Okay.
Very, very similar mission and model. We are separate organizations, but I will say that we do collaborate often with them for the good of the county as a whole.
Do you have like a split up the county of who gets what?
It's a fuzzy line, but our focus, obviously, I mean, it's intuitive. I think there isn't a hard and fast line. We cooperate very closely. We fund a lot of organizations that work countywide. Our dollars are to serve Northern Chautauqua County, and we're clear about that in the conversations that we have with folks. But we also recognize that there are problems that are not Northern Chautauqua problems. Like, we are part of an ecosystem. We are part of a community, and so. I do work that is, the foundation contributes to things countywide, region-wide, statewide. Our focus is on our community, but we recognize that our community is not an island. And so there are ways that we can benefit our community by working with our neighbors, and so there are organizations all around, and I think we're stronger by working together and by collaborating. But we are also very disciplined in making sure that when we fundraise dollars to serve Northern Chautauqua County, those dollars serve Northern Chautauqua County.
Have you had problems though where you gave a grant and it totally doesn't do what it's supposed to? Money doesn't go where it's supposed to, or?
Not that I've experienced personally.
Nice. I mean, somebody gets money and just blows it on something, or do they have a way to regulate that?
There's not that I'm aware of personally. However, it's always a challenge, and that's where I think most people in this sector work in good faith. Mm-hmm. But there are challenges, and this is one of those areas where if you try to set things up and you say either you execute it perfectly, then people are just not going to tell you when they have challenges. Mm-hmm. And so we're upfront with folks that, like, again, I feel like a broken record, but we want our dollars to be impactful.
Yes.
We would much rather someone come back to us and say, I tried to make it work. This is where I ran into obstacles. How can I still, like, this is where I'm at. Mm-hmm. What can I do to make sure that the grant is still impactful in ways that I was hoping it could be? Those are conversations we would much rather have than finding out 2 or 3 years later that it just kind of...
We took the money and ran.
Yeah, that doesn't fly. We will be very, again, that comes back to responsible stewardship is dealing with those situations as they come. But I mean, we're dealing with folks who want to feed the hungry, so they don't often take money. No. We have a small community. We know these folks, and that's part of when we're going through these processes. We're not giving money to folks who are in a position to do that. We're giving money to folks who have established relationships in the community. We're giving money to folks who have a demonstrated track record of being able to distribute. It's not just
we're doing due diligence.
A guy who walks in and says, "Oh, I can do this." Yeah. It's like
right.
Okay. Where's your building? Who's your relationship? What's your and if you don't have those things, then maybe it's not a grant. Yeah. Maybe it's an introduction to an opportunity to volunteer. I think it is. There's a lot of very, I think, valid fear when folks donate money. Is this going to go to what I want it to? Is it just going to be? Is it going to go to someone's salary? Is it going to go to? Yeah.
That's a big thing, salaries.
And I can. We're in this to make the community a better place. Yeah. We drove through the icy hills at 8 a.m. on a Saturday to tell you that we want to give you money. So please.
So we got about a minute and a half. You have a
I'd just love to mention this one more time if I could. So this is our campaign that we're running right now. This is the Today, Tomorrow, Together campaign. We stand by this. We're making a difference today. We're making a difference tomorrow, and we're doing it together in partnership with our donors, our volunteers, organizations in the community. Everything we talked about today does not happen without those partnerships. It does not happen without the gifts that are coming to the Community Foundation. Specifically, it does not happen without our community funds. So that's why we're running this campaign. Again, we want everything we're doing to be really accessible and easy for people. That includes establishing community funds. So if you're looking for a way to make a difference in our community, if you're wanting to become involved in any way, just reach out to us. We'll go over all the options. We're going to meet you where you're at, and we're going to make it as easy and as accessible as we can.
Can you give your phone number once more?
Absolutely.
And maybe email or
yes.
website
So
address?
our website is nccfoundation.org. You go there, you're going to find a plethora of information about everything we talked about today and then some. Our phone number is 716-366-4892, and you can email us at nccf@nccfoundation.org.
Beautiful. We're out of time. Thank you. I'm glad
Thank you.
to have you here. It's a lot of learning.
It's a lot.
Sometimes
we could talk for days,
I'm sitting
Randy.
on the other side. And drive careful.
Thank you.
I want to thank Justin on camera, Jeff at the controls, Chris back there, and hope Doc's having a safe trip. He should be in Phoenix now. He switched days to beat the storm. This storm's crazy, but Doc, I think, should be back next week, so And he's got a guest that's grab your seatbelts, as he always says. I won't say any more. Have a great day, everybody.